Well, welcome back to another Coffee and a Chat. It's been a little bit since I've been on here, and I'm going to tell you all about why. But before I do that, did you miss me? Because I missed you. But sometimes things happen, and I think it's always good if we can learn from it. And so something happened. I think I've learned some things from it, and I want to share it with you. So today I'm going to talk about my husband's favorite subject, Jehovah Jireh. My husband loves Jehovah Jireh. It means the Lord my provider. And if you knew about his life, my life, our life together and everything, Jehovah Jireh is very important to us. So the Lord does provide for us, and he's provided for me, but he also had me exercise my faith. And how do you exercise your faith? Sometimes you have to show you really believe God can take care of something by making your own little sacrifice and taking action to do what you can do, and then let him do what you can't do. So here's kind of what happened. Those of you guys that know me know I am not technically a savvy person. I do not do well with technology. I don't understand most of it, and it can get very confusing and frustrating and everything else. But Marvin and I have had some technical difficulties lately, and one was with a brand new TV. That TV is not even 2 months old, and we couldn't get it to turn off. We went through so much, so we thought, well, maybe it's the remote. But the remote would do everything for that TV except turn it off. And so then we thought, well, maybe it's because the batteries are starting to go bad and it just won't do that one thing. So we changed the batteries, put brand new batteries in. Still, same problem. So then Marvin's, checking out the TV everywhere, finally find the power button, tried to turn it off with that, still wouldn't turn the TV off. And so I said, well, I know one thing, we can unplug it from the wall and that'll surely turn it off. But before we do, let's just Google this and see if this is a difficulty. So we Googled the particular TV and, that it won't turn off. What do you do? And so it immediately came back with, telling us what to do and how to do a reset, which was basically unplugging it for at least, 30 seconds or something. And which we kept it unplugged a little longer to be sure, because the longer you keep it unplugged, the more stuff that drains out power-wise or something like that. I had, when we were having problems with our internet, whatever the box is that we've got. And they said, you have to unplug it and you go this long because there's energy that stores in that and you need it to all drain out. So I already knew that. So we kept it unplugged for a little longer, plugged it back in, problem solved. And anyway, when we had seen it on Google, it said, that you do this and then you wait. It will do a reset. It will keep all your personal information that you've already got in on it, and it'll be fine. You plug it back in and it should reset it and you'll be good to go. And then it says, get used to this because you're going to be doing it a lot. So I looked up, checked into it further, and evidently this is a glitch with this particular TV, and it's very common. So we, at least now we know, if, now they say when it happens again, but if it happens again, we'll know what's going on, what to do, and it'll be fine. So we've been having things like that happen, and it can get frustrating when it's just one thing after another. So anyway, I have an iPhone that I use just for making videos. That's all I use it for. And so, yeah, it stopped working all of a sudden. And I was trying to figure out what in the world happened, because it's not that old. I think it's just I've had a little over a year. And, Marvin's like, did you drop it? I'm like, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I'd know if I did, and I'm trying to figure out, what did I do? I had put it in my purse. Did that mess it up? Or was it too close to my Android phone? I don't know. So anyway, I couldn't figure it out. And so this went on for about a week because I'm thinking I'm going to have to take it in and I'm going to have them fix it, and, it's going to cost a pretty penny. And, so my first thing, and that's with anything anymore, I wasn't like scared about it or anything. It just was frustrating to me. And, and I thought, here, this is going to create another bill that I don't want to have to pay. And, and I don't know what to do. Well, so I hadn't done anything yet. And so, well, I still have my other phone, right? So I could just use it to make a video. It's not as good, but I could do it. Only Marvin and I have really old phones, and for quite a while now, they do not always function correctly. Sometimes they'll send a text all on their own, or be too slow to take one in, and our phones just, somebody will call but it won't ring, and then we'll hear the bleep letting us know we got a voicemail, and it's like, what? When did it ring? When was there a call? Because it doesn't let you know. And so, there's already frustrations. Well, trying to make videos with that phone is a hit and miss because it won't always allow me to make a video. And it's not that the memory's too full or anything. It just will, I guess, decide to turn off in the middle of making the video. And so that wasn't the solution. And I thought, well, as I'm watching the days tick by, I've just got to get this figured out and get the money together so I can go get it fixed. And so, but the first thing I did was I went to God. Okay. Even, and I never did go to get it fixed. That's what I'm telling you about now. So I told the Lord, I know you know that this is going on with my iPhone. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know how to explain what it's doing, but I can't, when you wake it up, do the little tip thing that you do with an iPhone and it wakes it up. There's nothing there but wallpaper. And I can't figure out how to get the thing to come up so I can put in my security code so that I can access my phone. And, and I don't know what to do. And so I was like, now look, Lord, I know you can do anything. I mean, the air I'm breathing, you've spoken into existence. The water in my cup that I'm drinking, you've spoken into existence. The ground that I walk on, you've spoken into existence. The plants that I eat, you spoke it into existence. I mean, if you can speak things like that into existence, like how do you speak air into existence and everything that goes with it? But if you can do that, then telling my iPhone to work right or just whatever you got to do, you could fix it right now and just miraculously it's fine and it's not an issue anymore. And then I checked my phone to see if that's what he did, and it's not what he did. And I've learned that God doesn't always, over the years, I've learned he doesn't always just fix stuff. Sometimes he does. But those are the rare things, at least my experience in my life. And what he did on this one is more of a typical thing. So here's what happened. So, I had prayed about it and I'd asked the Lord and I told him, I know you can do it. And I do know he can do it, but you're not choosing to do it that way. So if there's something I need to learn from this or something, help me to learn it, so that we can move forward. And so I was, I told Marvin, I'm just going to have to get the money together and go down, to the repair place and have them take a look at it and see what it's going to cost to fix it or whatever. But most places now, I mean, they charge you even just to look at it, and so I just was, we just paid off the house and got things better, financially. And so when stuff happens and it might, because it's not going to be cheap, I'm not like really thrilled about that. It's like, I want to get ahead, or, you want to get caught up even, and then things keep happening and, and it keeps costing you money and so I was, kind of in that mode. And so I was trying to figure things out. And so I said to the Lord, because I kept talking to him about, I guess I could Google this, I mean, it worked with the TV and it ended up being that it's a glitch, and maybe this is a glitch with the phone. I don't know, but I don't even know what to say, how to Google this. I don't know how to explain this. And I really, in my mind, I could not come up with anything. So I was like, maybe you could just even help me come up with the right words to Google this. And so I would say, that was like in the evening. And the next morning when I woke up, I'm thinking, well, I could, and now I can't even think of the word that I used. See, there you go. The old noggin's kind of moving slow these days. But, I was like, well, I could say that I can't get to my passcode or put in my password or whatever. I couldn't get that screen up, that it wasn't coming up or something, and I just was still, so I started, so I put in the type of iPhone I have, and then won't display. And even before I got done, how it starts putting suggestions up, like things that are commonly Googled that they think you might be Googling. And there it was, that the security, the thing for the security code to come up wouldn't come up for me to put in, but it said it more simple than that. I just can't think of how it was. So I'm like going, yeah, that pretty much is what's going on. So I clicked on it and it immediately went, with the instructions. When your iPhone won't display this, here's what you do. You push this button and then immediately push this button. Then you push this button over here and hold it until the screen comes up. And then when the screen comes up, you click on this and then it's going to reset your phone. Problem solved. And that this is a common glitch with this phone. So I'm like going, okay. But see, I was really insecure about doing that because I don't understand a lot of technology. And then I'm like, but if I reset it like that, is it going to take away all my personal stuff that I already, have set up in it? I mean, and do I really understand, how long to hold the button or what, and what if that screen doesn't come up? And, well, right below that, the next thing that it had as an answer was a short video, like a minute and 20 seconds that shows you how to do it. So I clicked on the video, and so then that video, and I'm doing all this on another computer. Okay, so then that video comes up and the guy says, if you have this iPhone, this is a common problem that happens. And so here's what you do. And so he shows you go and you push this button and then you immediately push this button, then you immediately push this button and hold. And he's doing it while he's telling you. And then he goes, and then this screen comes up. Okay, and so this screen came up and I don't even remember what it was. And, and then you click on this and then it's going to reset your phone. But don't worry, it won't take out any of your pictures or any of your personal information because it resets it back to the way it was before the glitch took over. So I'm like going, okay, I can do that. So I poke this button, I poke this button, then I come over and hold this button and then a screen comes up. But it wasn't... It wasn't the screen that they were showing. It was the screen that comes up for you to power off or, or reset or whatever. And so then I'm like, oh, because I'm insecure about it. So I'm like, oh no, well, what if I don't want to push the wrong thing? What if I turn it off and it won't turn back on? What if, and I'm sitting there being all insecure about it. And I just, without even thinking, I just swiped up, to close that page. And when I did, there was the thing to put in my code to open my phone. And so I put in the code, it opened my phone, and everything's fine again. So now, I just have to remember this button, that, and then just go ahead and close that, that option to turn the phone off because I don't need to turn the phone off. And when I close that, it, will, so anyway, so it all worked out. And now, the iPhone is healed. Or at least it's reset and it's working fine. And so I got to thinking about it, did God answer my prayer? Did he take care of my problem? Yes. I believe it was him, not Google, not whoever made that video, not me, but God led me through a process. And so then I started thinking, now why would he do that? And there were 5 things that stood out to me of what was good about God doing it this way. So the first thing was when the problem came, and because we all want to live with no problems, don't we? And then when there is a problem, we just want God to fix it, and then everything just keeps moving on. But that's not reality. Jesus said, you will have troubles and trials. You will have frustrations in life. And, it's not always going to be easy. And if you live in such a time, you will be persecuted for your faith. I mean, he actually is promising us some pretty hard things. We don't want that to be the truth, but it is the truth. And I believe that what God does when he allows me to go through whatever I go through, that it's for my own good, that there's a reason. Okay, so when a problem comes up, like the iPhone not working, what was my first response? By this time in life, it used to be my last response, but now it's my first response is I immediately go to my Father. So the problem arising actually causes me to seek God and to ask him for his help, to go to my Jehovah Jireh who provides. So that was the first place I went. And as it ended up being the only place, which isn't that great, because could you imagine if I had gone in to have it repaired and I go in and I show them what's wrong, I can see them go, oh, okay, well, push this button, hold this button, swipe up. What's your code? Put it in. Okay, that'll be $150. Thank you. Oh, that would have been awful. By the way, this is a common glitch. Pay attention because you're going to have to do it again. So, yeah, I didn't go through that because I did go to the Lord first. And then, as I'm seeking his help, I didn't know what to put in. How would I even Google this if I was going to do it on my own? So that brought me to the second thing was I had to listen for his answer. I needed to recognize his voice and then follow through with what he told me to do. So he got me started. Here's what you say. And he gave me the right words. And even as I was putting the words in the phone, or not the phone, I'm sorry, in the computer. I've got a phone in front of me now, an iPhone that's working. But, as I put it into the computer, it brought up the suggestion because it's a common problem and other people had already searched it and it brought the answer up immediately. So God got me on the right path to get the answer to my problem. So I had to listen to him, recognize his voice, and then I had to obey him. The third thing is I learned something, okay? Because it's a common glitch, just like the situation with the TV. It's a common glitch, and I just thought it was hilarious that the one that gave the answer is, and get used to it because you'll be doing this a lot. Okay, so now if this happens again, and I'm still going to say if, not when, but if this happens again, not a problem. I know what to do. I've learned something, and I've gotten a little more comfortable with dealing with technology. So it's helped me grow in an area that I need to grow. Then the fourth thing is going through this, it helps teach me to work with God. Not to just sit there and say, well, you fix it, and then just sit and wait. Because God doesn't, sometimes he does that, yes, but he doesn't want to just be this person out there that's just, fixing everything for us all the time. He wants to do things with us. He wants to work in partnership. We need to learn how to work in partnership with God so that when we come to other things, like when he sends us out to witness to somebody or to go help someone, that we're working with him, not against him, not as a lone ranger on our own, because we're going to mess it up. I know I will, but actually working with him. So this helped, reinforce that partnership with God, working with him and letting him be the leader. It reinforced that more in my life. And then the fifth thing was it works on building that relationship with God. Did I fix the phone? No. Did Google fix the phone? No. Was it really God that was behind all that? Yeah. Because without him, I never would have known where to go or how to do it. He walked me through the steps. He made the way. And in just a minute or two, problem was solved. It took a week to get to that point. before I really began to, see, but I depended on him. And then it's just made that relationship between he and I even sweeter. It works a lot like it does, with our human relationships, but my relationship with God is something even greater and sweeter and more wonderful. So I wanted to share that with you because maybe it'll encourage you in some of your things. Don't just sit back and do nothing and just expect God to do what you want him to do for you. But work with him, learn to hear his voice, learn to seek him, and let him lead you in the way he wants you to go. And, that's where your greatest success is. That's where your greatest joy is. And that's where peace is. So I'm back because of the Lord, and I'm so grateful, and this was important to me because this is my avenue right now. This is my resource of being able to do any kind of ministry. And so with that, I also want to say, if you're still here with me all the way to the end of this video, thank you for that. Thank you for watching the whole video. Thank you if you've subscribed. Thank you for hitting a thumbs up. Thank you for leaving a comment. Thank you for sharing the videos, because all those things help me with the ministry the Lord's given me. And it helps to have that encouragement. I have different ones that send me emails at times just to let me know they're praying for me. That means so much, you guys. And, I told one woman, she was like, I pray for you all the time. And I'm like, you're part of what I'm doing, even though people may not know who you are or what you look like or that you even exist. You are a great part of what God is doing through me because you give me that prayer support. So that means a lot. And I want you to know that means a lot to me and that I appreciate you and everything you do to help me succeed here and for being patient with me. This is one of the only times where I've been off for a long period of time that I haven't had people like, unsubscribing, and because I wasn't there. The subscriptions went up during this time of frustration that I had. So thank you guys. Thank you for being a part of this. And I hope that these things I'm nothing special, and I'm not, this magnificent, deep theological. I'm just an ordinary old woman. And I just try to share with you from the stories that I've had in my life and the things I'm going through at any given time, because I'm just like you. And what the Lord does for me, he'll do for you too. He doesn't love me more. He doesn't like me more. No, he loves us all. And he cares about what you're going through. So let's not let it all stress us out or get us all worked up, but let it be something that helps us to grow and be better. I feel like a better person having gone through this. I feel just a little bit more comfortable with technology, and it wasn't that big a deal, and it wasn't that hard. And I'm thankful to have gone through this, and I'm really excited that I've got a video to put up tonight so that I can reconnect with you all. And with that too, I've got another one that I need to work on this weekend that came by request of something that somebody wanted me to share about. And so I'm going to do that. And I just want to remind you that you can leave questions and prayer requests and whatever in the comments. And maybe you've had an experience like this and things that God showed you that I didn't mention. Leave it in the comments to help the rest of us, to share with us. This is all of us working together here. And so, your input is very important. So do that. And if you want to say something that you don't want to put out there for the whole world, when you go to the description of this video, my email is in there, and you can send me an email. And I always love questions and suggestions. Could you talk about this? Could you maybe hit on that? And if it's something I can, I will. Sometimes some people want me to talk about things that's like, I really don't have something to share on that. So not at least at this time, but I always keep that in the back of my mind if it comes up. And I do have something, so I welcome that too, very much so. All right. I love you guys. This has been long enough. And it's so good to be able to talk with you and share with you again. And in faith, I'm believing that I'll be talking to you again real soon. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.